Hello, Mario.
Hi, Walter.
How are you?
Good.
Oh,
How are you?
Ernest is here. Okay, good.
Good.
Ernie, how was your hike?
Wow, that's a good high. That's a good workout. We're gonna straight up to the observatory. So, I mean, I've gone, Chaim and I once, we went up this way. You know, you go around on a trail, like a loop trail. This is much more frontal. So it's a good, my heart rate was 145. This is
Oh
not
my
just,
goodness.
yeah, this is, coming down is nice, but going up is hard. Susie, could you give this to Daniel, who's at the door?
Okay.
We're on Ayin Tess, 79. Tomorrow we will learn at, what time does it say? Daf Yomi?
5:25.
Okay, 5:25. Ad nofach, the pasuk says ad novach, ad shetovo eish she'ein tzricha nipuach. We're talking about eish from Gehenna, Rashi says. It doesn't require bellowing. That's gonna consume the person who is haughty. Ad meidva, ad shetat iv nishmatan, until their neshama will be pained. Ad the oven, my the boy. Until HaKadosh Baruch Hu punishes them appropriately. On Rav Yidam Rav. Kol haporish midivei Torah eish oichalto. Whoever stays away from learning Torah, he will be consumed by fire. Shnei natati et ponai bahem, me'aesh yatsu va'aesh tochla. Ki os Rav Dimi, Amar Rav Yonasan kol haporish yatsu midivei Torah noifel begeanim. If you stay away from Torah, you'll fall to Gehenna. Shneimar, Adam to'eh miderech haseichel bekal refoim yanuach. He will be in bekal refoim. The refoim ended up in Gehenna. Ein refoim al Gehenna. Shneimar v'lo yadaki refoim sham. Ba'amke Shaol kira'ua. The Shaol, which is Gehenna, is where the refoim ended up. Mochar ashpa. The Mishnah said if you sell a garbage dump, mochar zavla. If there's fertilizer there, you sell the fertilizer as well. Tnan Asam. Kol Aroy Lemizbeach. Something that is appropriate for the Mizbeach, like an animal. V'lo leberek habayis, but it's not appropriate for example, building up the Beis Hamikdash, bricks, things like that. Or vice versa. It's roy leberek habayis v'lo lemizbeach, like gold. You can donate gold to the berek habayis, but you can't put it on the mizbeach. Lo min mizbeach v'lo leberek habayis, if it's not roy for either. So, if you were magdish any of these items, moyalin behem u'b'masha b'soichan. You're moyal in the item as well as that which is inside the item. Ketza, higdish bor mlei mayim. You were magdish a bor full of water. Ashpot mlei zevel, a dump full of fertilizer. Shoivach malei yonim, a birdhouse full of birds. Sodem mlei asovim, a field with grass. Ila nosui peros, a tree full of fruit. So if you then use it after it was given to the Beis Hamikdash, moil and behen v'masha b'soichan. You're moil in the bore as well as in the water. Aval imigdish bor v'achakach d'sman. If at the time you were magdish, the bore was empty, only later on it filled with water. You were magdish an ashpa, and only later achakach d'sman. You were magdish a shoivak, a birdhouse. Only later the doves flew in. Elon, you were magdish a tree, but there were no fruit at the time. It came later. A field only later with grass. If you use the sadeh or the shoivak, you're moil, but not if you use the bird or what's inside. Elu de Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi, Omer Higdish as Asade v'Sa'ilon. If you magdish a field or a tree, then memela, grass and fruit are going to fill it up. It happens automatically. Therefore, moilim bahenu v'gidu lehem. You're moilim in them and in what grows. Mipnei shein gidu lehegdish. It's growth that came out of something that was hegdish. Tanya Merebi. Near in Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, where he said, "Ein moalim b'masha b'soichan," that makes sense. B'bor v'shoivach, a bore that was empty, later on filled with water, or birds flew in. But Rabbi Yossi b'sod v'ilan, Rabbi Yossi makes sense by a field which there's going to be growth automatically, or a tree. Hi, Maya. We don't understand Rabbi. Bishlama, near and div Rabbi Yehuda b'bor v'shoivach, Michlal, the Palig, comes out that Rabbi Yehuda argues with Rabbi Yossi by Soda v'ilan. That, and Rabbi Yehuda said that beferish, that you're not moil in fruit that got added to a tree after you were magdish the tree. Ela near and div Rabbi Yossi b'Soda v'ilan, by saying that Rabbi Yossi makes sense by sort of the Elon, that what? The Palig that Rabbi Yossi is arguing Rabbi Yehuda by Bor v'Shoivach? We can't learn that way. By Rabbi Yossi, sort of the Elon ka'amar. Rabbi Yossi only told us that it's by sort of the Elon that the later on stuff you're moiled. It's not shaykh by Bor v'Shoivach. Because water and birds don't just materialize. They have to show up somehow. It's not guaranteed that they'll show up. Or maybe Rabbi Yehuda is maybe Rabbi Yossi is speaking to Rabbi Yehuda, that even according to the sheet of Rabbi Yehuda, that maybe he would also aser by a sod of the Elon become their Gidulei Hegdesh. But V'atanya, I'm Rabbi Yossi, Ein ani ro'et Varsho Rabbi Yehuda b'sod of the Elon. Mipnei she'en Gidulei Hegdesh. I don't see that the pshat of Rabbi Yehuda to say that a soda and a tree, you don't moil in the grass or the fruits, I don't agree with it because it's growing from something that was hegdish. The soda of the ilan ushen aroya. So it sounds like Rabbi Yossi doesn't agree with Rabbi Yehuda by a sort of Elon, haba bor v'shavech roya, but maybe he agrees by bor v'shavech. So the Gemara says no. Achi kama. This is what Rabbi is saying. Nirin de Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Yosi bebor v'shavech, that there's no meila by the water that fills up later or the birds that fly in later. Sha'av Rabbi Yosi le'nechlek alav ela b'sod v'ilon. The only place that Rabbi Yosi is arguing with Rabbi Yehuda by a sod of Elon, because those things grow automatically. But he admits to Rabbi Yehuda regarding the bor and the shavach. Higdishan reikonin. You were magish a bor empty. Only later it filled with water. Moyal in bahen. Ve'ein moyal in b'masha b'soicha. You're moyal in the bor, but not in the water. Rabbi Lezer disagrees. He says, since the bor was hegdish and now it got filled with water, you're moyal in the water as well. Amar Rabba, machlokas is besod v'ilon. It's only by a tree in a field. The Tanakam is server log Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Lezer Rabbi Shimon server log Rabbi Yosi. But everybody agrees that by a bor and a birdhouse, you're not moil in the contents. What about the brisa that says Hegdishon Malayan? If you were magdish it full, moil in bayan of a he switches the shitas. That if you were magdish it mole, you're not moil in the contents. The ibasur of ulan. Amai machlif. Why would he switch by son of the Elon? If there's din me'ila by the peiros, which don't exist yet, so certainly there would be me'ila if the water is in the bor when he was magdishit. Ella Amar Rabba Machlokas Zu. This machlokas with Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Shimon, and the Tanakama is babor v'shoifach. That one says you're magdish everything, the other says no, only the bor. But by a son of Elon, everybody agrees that you're moil in all of it. What are they arguing regarding a bor and a shoivach? And ubimlein b'may pligi. What are they arguing if the bor and the shoivach were full? So the Gemara says, Reikonin pligi, because beplukted Rav Meir Rabbanon. The Tanakam is server like Rabbanon. The Amri Ein Adam Makda Davar Shlaba Adam. Can you do a kinyan on something that doesn't exist in the world? You have a fruit tree, but there's no fruit. Can I do a deal and sell you the fruit? Hi, honey. Elisa, let me call you right back. I'm teaching. I'll call you back in a few minutes, okay? Thank you. Are you allowed to do a future sale of the fruit that's going to grow in the tree? The Chachamim say if it doesn't exist in the world, there's no kinyan, and therefore you can't be magdish something that's going to arrive in the tree later. But Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Shimon, Sovak, Rabbi Meir, the Amar Adam Magda Davar Shlo Balalam. Rabbi Meir says you can do a deal on future growth, therefore you can be magdish as well. Or says no. When did Rav Meir say that you can be mocked to something that's not existent yet? Gon Perus Dekel David Asu. Fruit in a palm tree, we know for sure that they're going to grow. There you can be mocked at, even though they're not here. But Hani Miemer de Asu, who says that water is going to fill up in the bor? Who says birds are going to fly into the bird's nest? Amar it works. Mishkachas law. It's a bor that was built at the bottom of a chutzner that's slanted, where we know for sure water is going to flow from the courtyard into the bor. It's not going to fill it. He doesn't have to fill it up. It's going to fill by itself. Or means there was a collection of birdhouses, and they fly from one place to another. We know they're going to fill this up eventually. So that's the argument we said about by shoivach and bor when they're empty. Now, what about mlein b'may pligi? When you sell a bor or a birdhouse full, what is their machlokes? Amarava, Pigon sheikdish bor stam. You were magdish a bor stam. You didn't specify. Rav Lezer Rab Shimon sover la kavua. Rav Lezer had like his father Rab Shimon. We're talking about Rab Shimon Bar Yochai. Don in din kavoy medin hedyud. We learn a hegdish din from regular mominus din. When you're magdish something to Hashem, that's like a person selling something to a private person. Ma din hedyud matzi omar biriz v'ilcha ma'ilaz v'ilcha. When I sell a bor, even though it's full, listen, I'm selling you the bor, not selling you the water. Avdin gavoa, pirak, kadish ma'ilakad. It's like the ayin yofe, ayin ra business that we were talking about is a moicher sell by ayin yofe, by ayin ra. So, by not every hedyot sells by ayin yofe. So and gavoa is learned from a hedyot. So just like by hedyot, the person would say, I'm not selling you the water, I'm only selling you the board. Same thing when you're magdish. However, Tanakama savars that for the base of Mikdash were more open. Ain done in din gavoa medin hedyot. Someone who's makadish always is makadish ba'ayin yofe, even if he doesn't say anything. And therefore, if it was a bore full of water, for sure he donated everything to the base of Mikdash. When you have a bore full of water and I'm selling it to Chaim Yankel, is it true that a seller is going to hold back the water? But none. Machar bor, machar meimav. The Mishnah says if you sell a bor, you sell its water. That's not the Chachamim argue with this Mishnah. It's a das yochid, the Tanya. Machar bor loy machar meimav. That's the Tanakama. Rav Nosson Omar, so he's a das yochid. Machar bor, machar meimav. So our Mishnah is a das yochid. It's Rav Nosson, not the Rabbi. But the machlokes between Rav Lezer, Rab Shimon, and Chavei Rav, it's according to Chachamim that in general water is not sold along with the bor. Okay, we'll start a new blot tomorrow. Have a good
Yeah,
everybody.